listen to me, some of the strongest people you admire didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because life broke them first. They didn't gain strength from victory. They gained it from TRs. Sometimes your tears water the very ground where your future strength will grow. And today, I'm here to tell you those tears you're ashamed of, God has been using them to build you. Family, let me talk to your heart for a moment. We often think strength comes from the moments where we stand tall, where everything looks perfect, where the world applauds. But that's not where real strength is born. Real strength, the kind that carries you through storms, the kind that holds you together when your world feels like it's falling apart. That strength is shaped in silence, in pain, in confusion, in those nights where your pillow knows every tear you've shed. I built my strength from those tears. Not because I wanted to cry, because life gave me no choice. And God, not people, not situations. God used those tears as building blocks. Every disappointment became a lesson. Every heartbreak became a teacher. Every setback became a training ground. And I'm standing here today, not because I never cried, but because I didn't stop growing while I cried. And neither will you. Your tears are not signs of weakness. They are signs of being human. And sometimes the most human moments are the ones that shape the strongest version of you. When life hits you hard, when disappointment steals the breath from your chest, when people you trusted walk away without an explanation, your heart reacts in the most honest way it knows. It cries. And there is nothing weak about that. Tears are the overflow of a soul that has carried too much for too long. They are the language of emotions too heavy to hold in silence. They are the release valve that God built into your spirit so you wouldn't explode under pressure. And the beauty of tears is this: even though they fall quietly, they speak loudly. They speak of the battles you fought alone. They speak of the moments you smiled on the outside while breaking on the inside. They speak of every time you picked yourself up without applause, without support, without anyone noticing. Tears tell the story of the strength you didn't even know you had. Think about the last time you cried. Maybe it was late at night when the whole world slept but you couldn't shut your mind off. Maybe it was in the bathroom, standing in the mirror telling yourself you would be okay, even though you weren't sure you actually believed it. Maybe it was in the middle of the day, pretending to be strong for others until your own heart whispered, "I need a moment." Everyone has had that moment. Everyone has felt that sudden wave inside. So powerful it forces tears to escape. And it's in those human moments that true strength begins. Not in the moments when everything is smooth, but in the moments when everything feels too heavy. Your tears are the evidence that you are still fighting, still feeling, still caring, still holding on even when life gives you every reason to let go. Weakness is not found in tears. Weakness is pretending you don't have any. Look around your daily life. You will see how many people carry silent battles. The woman with the brightest smile at work might cry in her car before walking in. The man who supports everyone may have nights where he feels completely alone. The student who motivates others may cry silently because of pressure nobody knows they are facing. The parent who holds the family together might have moments where they feel broken, but they keep going because love won't let them quit. Every tear in their journey is a piece of their strength, not their weakness. And the same is true for you. Every tear you shed was not a breakdown. It was a breakthrough waiting to happen. It was your mind and your heart releasing what no longer fits inside your spirit. Sometimes tears fall because of heartbreak, sometimes because of betrayal, sometimes because of exhaustion. And sometimes they fall because you've reached a point where your soul refuses to stay silent. In all those moments, understand this: your tears are not a reflection of defeat. They are a reflection of courage. Courage to feel, courage to release, courage to heal. Healing doesn't start with solutions. It starts with honesty. And tears are honesty in liquid form. They reveal where you are hurting, where you are growing, and where you need to go next. God didn't design you to be emotionless. He designed you to be real. Real hearts cry. Real souls feel. Real people break and rebuild. And the more real you allow yourself to be, the stronger your foundation becomes. Picture a person who never allowed themselves to cry. Someone who pretends to be strong every moment of their life. They hold everything inside, compressing emotion after emotion. weight after weight. One day, the pressure breaks them in ways far worse than tears ever could. That is why tears exist. They prevent destruction. They release inner pressure. They help you breathe again. You may not like crying, but every time you do, your soul exhales, your spirit loosens, your heart resets, and somewhere deep inside, you begin to realign with the strength that was buried beneath the pain. And here's the truth life teaches you. The people who have cried the most often end up being the ones who love the deepest, who encourage the strongest, who understand the most, who empathize the best. Because tears water the soil of wisdom. You learn compassion from your own heartbreaks. You learn gentleness from your own battles. You learn understanding from your own silent nights. Even the strongest leaders, the most successful people, the most inspiring souls, each one of them has had nights where they broke down. They didn't grow from perfection. They grew from pain. And if you pay attention to your own journey, you will realize the same. Every tear you shed has shaped you, taught you, trained you, and prepared you for moments you didn't even know were coming. So the next time tears fall, don't shame yourself. Don't call yourself weak. Don't compare your journey to someone else who looks strong but may be breaking in ways you can't see. Instead, remind yourself, my tears are not weakness. My tears are proof that I still have a heart, I still have hope, I still have courage. Let your tears cleanse you. Let them soften what life has hardened. Let them be the beginning of your next chapter. Because strength doesn't begin when the tears stop. Strength begins while the tears are falling, and you keep standing anyway. That is the strength you're building right now. Pain is a silent mentor that builds strength in the background, shaping you in ways you don't realize while you're going through it. When pain arrives, it doesn't knock on the door. It doesn't give warnings. It doesn't ask, "Are you ready?" Pain enters your life like an uninvited guest, messy, loud, disruptive. It interrupts your plans, shatters your expectations, shakes the ground beneath your feet. Yet even though pain feels like the enemy in the moment, it often becomes the very force that transforms you into the person you were meant to become. You don't grow when the road is smooth. You grow when the road is rough and forces you to find your balance. You don't grow when everything is easy. You grow when life tests your endurance, your patience, and your faith in yourself. Think about the hardest moments of your life. The heartbreak that left you questioning your worth. The betrayal that made you doubt people. The failure that made you wonder if you should even try again. The disappointment that knocked the air out of your lungs. In those moments, pain did not feel like a teacher. It felt like punishment. It felt unfair. It felt unnecessary. You didn't see the purpose. You only felt the pressure. But here is the truth. Pain teaches in silence. While you are crying, it is building resilience inside you. While you feel lost, it is sharpening your direction. While you feel broken, it is rearranging the pieces of your inner strength. Pain never wastes a moment. It works quietly behind the scenes, turning your suffering into strength, your confusion into clarity, your breakdown into breakthrough. Look at your daily life. How many times have you grown from a situation only after it hurt you first? Think about a child learning to walk. They fall again and again, sometimes on the carpet, sometimes on hard floors, sometimes sideways, sometimes face first, and each fall hurts a little. But each fall teaches balance. Without falling, they would never learn to walk. Without stumbling, they would never learn how to stand steady. Pain becomes part of the training. And by the time the child finally takes that first strong step, they don't even realize that every small bruise helped them build the foundation for that moment. Adults are no different. You may not be learning to walk anymore, but you're learning to rise from disappointment, to carry lessons from heartbreak, to grow from rejection, to find yourself after losing what you thought you needed. And every painful moment along the way is training you, just like the child who falls before they walk. Pain also teaches you about people. Think about the relationships that fell apart, friendships that faded, love that turned cold, connections that once felt strong but ended in heartbreak. When those moments happened, you felt pain. But later, when you saw the truth, you realized pain protected you from staying where you didn't belong. Pain whispered, "This is not for you anymore." It showed you who really cared, who only stayed for convenience, who supported you without conditions, and who disappeared the moment life stopped being easy. Pain removes the wrong people so the right ones can enter. It breaks illusion so you can see reality. It sharpens your intuition so you no longer ignore signs you once overlooked. What felt like suffering was actually preparation, God shaping your heart so it would recognize genuine love when it arrives. Pain teaches discipline too. Think about working on yourself, changing habits, overcoming fears, healing old wounds, chasing a dream that feels impossible. None of that is comfortable. Discipline hurts. Growth hurts. Letting go of familiar patterns hurts. But every moment of pain during that process builds a muscle you didn't have before. When you wake up at 5 a.m. to chase excellence while others are sleeping, that's pain working in your favor. When you study for hours while your friends relax, that's pain shaping your future. When you feel lonely because you're focusing on self-improvement, that's pain removing distractions so you can discover your true potential. Pain elevates you by demanding effort, consistency, and sacrifice. It makes you stronger than comfort ever could. Comfort keeps you still. Pain pushes you forward. Think about the gym, a simple everyday example. When you lift weights, your muscles actually tear. It sounds scary, but that tiny tear is what triggers growth. The body rebuilds, the muscle stronger than before. The pain you feel during the workout is not destruction. It is construction. Life works the same way. Every emotional tear is like a muscle tear. It hurts, but it rebuilds you stronger. It stretches you beyond what you thought you could handle. Pain says, you are becoming more than you were yesterday. And without those painful stretches, you would never know your true strength. Pain also humbles you. It reminds you that you are human. It teaches you to appreciate the small things: peace, joy, laughter, rest. When life has taken you through darkness, you begin to cherish every beam of light. A simple smile becomes precious. A quiet morning becomes a blessing. A moment of relief feels like a gift. Pain deepens your gratitude. It sharpens your awareness. It teaches you to value what truly matters. And most importantly, it teaches you to value yourself. Because after surviving what you thought would break you, you begin to realize how powerful you truly are. Pain teaches you strength by forcing you to dig into places you never knew existed. It pushes you beyond limits you never thought you could cross. You may not notice it while it's happening, but every painful moment is shaping a stronger, wiser, more courageous version of you. Pain does not come to stop you, it comes to sculpt you. And one day, you will look back and realize that the silent mentor you tried to escape was the one that built the strongest parts of who you are today. When life breaks you, it also opens you. There are moments in life where you feel something inside you crack, not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Something you depended on suddenly falls apart. Something you believed in stops feeling safe. Someone you trusted walks away. A plan you invested years into collapses. In those moments, you don't feel brave, you feel broken. You feel a sharp, quiet kind of pain that doesn't scream, but stays, sits, lingers. And you wonder, why did this happen to me? Why now? Why like this? But here's the truth most people don't see. While they're hurting, the same crack that breaks you also becomes the opening through which transformation enters. The breaking point is often the very beginning of your becoming. Life has a way of shaking you, not to destroy you, but to open you to new understanding, new perspectives, new strengths that would have never appeared if everything stayed perfect. When something breaks, it creates space. A seed has to break open to grow. A cocoon has to break for a butterfly to emerge. Even the earth cracks before a new spring begins. Breaking is not the end. Breaking is the beginning of something different, something deeper, something stronger. And the same principle applies to you. When life breaks you, it's not closing your story. It's opening your next chapter. Think back to a time something in your life broke, a relationship that ended, a job that slipped through your fingers, a dream that didn't unfold the way you imagined. At that moment, you felt lost. You felt like everything you built was falling apart. You felt like the world was closing in. But sit with your memories for a second. Didn't something else open afterward? Maybe a new opportunity. Maybe a new friendship. Maybe a new version of yourself. Because when something breaks, something also begins. You couldn't see it then, but looking back, you realize that the breaking wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to align you. The door that closed wasn't punishment, it was redirection. The person who left didn't take your future, they made space for your healing. The path that fell apart didn't end your journey, it shifted your destiny. Breaking is often the universe's way of removing what blocks your growth. Look at everyday life. Even simple things remind you of this truth. A glow stick doesn't shine until it's snapped. A diamond is formed through intense pressure. Steel becomes strong through fire. Bread rises only after being kneaded and punched down. Seeds bloom only after being buried in darkness. Everything that becomes stronger goes through some form of breaking. And after that breaking, something beautiful, powerful, and purposeful emerges. Humans are no different. Every time your heart cracks, light gets in. Every time your old identity breaks, your true self begins to appear. Every time you lose something you thought you couldn't live without, you discover strength you didn't know you had. Sometimes life breaks your expectations so it can give you something better. Sometimes it breaks your routine because you outgrew the place you were stuck in. Sometimes it breaks your heart so you can learn how to protect it without closing it. Sometimes it breaks your plans because they were too small for the future waiting for you. Breaking feels painful, but it also reveals truth. It shows you who and what was real. It exposes the cracks in your foundation so you can rebuild stronger. It removes illusions, surfaces honesty, and pushes you into growth. You don't grow from perfection, you grow from disruption. Growth rarely feels comfortable, it often feels like chaos. But beneath that chaos, a new form of you is being shaped. Think about the moments when life shook you so deeply that you couldn't go back to who you used to be. That's because breaking changes you. It removes layers you didn't need. It strips away fears you used to carry. It humbles you. It awakens you. It forces you to stop surviving on the surface and start evolving from within. A person who has been broken is never the same, and that's not a bad thing. You gain wisdom that comfort could never teach. You gain empathy that ease could never provide. You gain strength that peace alone could never build. Being broken deepens you. It expands your soul. It stretches your spirit. It widens your understanding. It makes you more human, more aware, more alive. And even though breaking hurts, it also reveals what you're capable of. You discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Courage you never used before. Patience you never needed before. Resilience you never accessed before. Breaking forces you to rebuild, and in rebuilding, you learn your own power. You learn that you can rise from places you thought would bury you. You learn that endings do not define you, they refine you. You learn that the version of you that emerges after the break